Hello everybody, my name's Mark, I'm the Managing Director for MKL Innovation, and today I'm going to be explaining the difference between the traditional approach to planned preventative maintenance within facilities management and a digital approach. So looking at the traditional approach, here we have an engineer arriving on site as part of their monthly PPM requirement. This isn't a new client to the FM provider, however the engineer attending today has not been to site before. As the engineer hasn't been on site before, the engineer needs to carry out some investigative work to understand where the assets are. Once the assets are located, the engineer then walks the site, visually assessing the condition of the asset along with their location. The engineer can now begin to manually test the equipment. The engineer then walks the site looking for disruption both pre and post test and can be on site for a minimum of 3 hours. However, should the PPM visit be required to be conducted out of hours, this often results in security being required, which can be a key frustration if security is a no-show. Once the engineer has completed his tests, he then begins to complete his paperwork, logging defects and any additional work required, such as remedials. Paperwork complete, the engineer can now provide the client with certification. However, without tight processes, paperwork can often be late, inaccurate and incomplete, which is a key frustration for both the client and the FM provider. Should a different engineer be carrying out the remedial work as per requested the original PPM visit, without tight processes in place in regards to paperwork and an effective handover, this can also result in frustration. And now let's take a look at that process again, but through the eyes of digital. After initial verification of the client's assets, the engineer begins to install IoT sensors. The sensors are non-intrusive and offer real-time data on the assets. With the IoT sensor in place, a remote command can automatically be sent to put the asset into test mode. Alternatively, as the sensor is always watching, should the sensor pick up a change of state, an action will be triggered. The sensor records the health of the asset 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, with no action required unless there's a change of state. Should an engineer be required, the system will auto-generate a work order along with what has failed, the parts required and the location. After a remote maintenance test, remote command puts the asset back into a normal state, the sensor confirms back live, automatically records data and generates certification with no delay in the paperwork process. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you would like to know more about the services we provide, please reach out. Thank you very much.